We started with 36 contenders, but only 7 remain with a shot at the win here at Stop 6 on the Championship Tour. This morning, we'll look at semi-finalist John Florence and consider his chances for the win here at Jeffreys Bay. And we'll also get the call on the remaining quarterfinal heats. That and more coming your way on Dawn Patrol. Greetings once again from South Africa's Eastern Cape. It is day 10 of the event window and we are anticipating the call for our quarterfinals. Just one man has already made it through to the semi-finals. He is on screen at the moment. John Florence has been on a mission with the early sessions, as have these characters, the true locals here at Jeffreys Bay, picking off some nice sets here this morning on another sensational day here at Jeffreys Bay. And have a look at this. What a great way to wake up. Beautiful scenes here. These nice little lines running down the point. We'll get the call in a few moments' time. But stop number 6 always delivers special moments. Ronnie Blakey here with Ross Williams and Strider Wasilewski. How fun was that? Just watching those Dolphins just cut through these long walls this morning.
Oh, we've seen a few rides go down this morning. I think right now the Dolphins are kind of comboing the field. They look like they're having the most fun, even throwing a little bit of spray.
Strider, the wait for these quarterfinal heats continues. We're waiting for the call. It is starting to get exciting now. Kelly Slater, Josh Kerr, we've seen them at different stages through these past couple of lay days. What's their vibe been like?
Oh, relaxed, ready to go. Pretty much, they're excited. There's kind of a little bit of blood between the two. I think that they want to see who's going to get back at each other. And it's interesting because the field's kind of sitting there waiting, watching, and John's already into the semis. So he's kind of just snickering out the back, just laughing kind of to himself probably. And I think that's kind of eating away at guys like Gabriel Medina. I mean, if you're like as much of a competitor as he is, it's got to just kind of like claw at you a little bit. So he's just getting riled up as it comes in.
Well, that first heat, Kelly Slater, Josh Kerr is on standby. Let's find out if we're going to get it underway this morning on day 10.
Good morning, guys. What a beautiful morning. Those Dolphins are always a highlight, Kieran, and there have been a couple of lines that we've seen coming through. Is it enough to get the final quarterfinals underway?
Yeah, we have seen more swell start to build in, which is a good sign. It's colder as well. The wind's straight offshore. Not quite enough yet, so we're going to come back at 1 o'clock for another call. We're still kind of looking at it's more likely for tomorrow, but we just want to make sure that we don't miss anything this afternoon, and if it ramps up, then we'll be on.
Fingers crossed we see that swell pull through, boys.
Thank you, Rosie. So 1 p.m. we'll be coming back to check out conditions, but that's going to give us a good opportunity to have a bit of a wrap out about these quarterfinal heats, Ross. And I think the fact that the conditions are going to be the big leveler when you start considering those matchups, because it sort of throws form out the window if the conditions are tricky, offshore, onshore. Who's it going to favour?
Yeah, well, I mean, for the first heat with Josh and Kelly, if you look at the past few days that we've had competition so far, it's been head high, and we've had a lot of different kind of winds where it was kind of in favor for Josh. With obviously he's so good at going to the air. So now that we're potentially going to have stiff offshore winds, maybe a little more size, I think Kelly, he has a little more strength in his rail game. We'll have a little bit of an edge over Josh, but Josh is looking pretty loose. He's been walking around lately. He's always got a bit of swagger, but it's not like he's going to hand it over to Kelly. No,
he's on a dry July too. He's ready to go. He's very clear, as he said the other day. Came over and hung out a little bit at the house, and he was pretty much focused laser beams right now. So that's good to see. It's good to see him really excited and ready to go and ready to take on the champ. And Kelly Slater, all-time greatest we've ever seen. So the reality is he's going to have his hands full. The
He
rail
is.
turns, everything he's going to do, it's going to be hard to beat.
Strider, give us a bit of a rundown at what we're looking at today, also moving through the rest of the event window.
Well, as the day plays out, we're going to see, the swell kind of build in through this evening, and we don't want to walk away like he's saying. He said he's likely to be on tomorrow because, the swell's supposed to come through and stick around all day tomorrow. That said, Professor Pete said it's going to peak tonight. So this afternoon we could get some heats in the water, and then tomorrow morning finish off with the rest of the swell still solid and the low tide pushing in, which would be a really great way to go. The offshores are going to be howling, and we're going to be seeing some overhead surf this afternoon and tomorrow morning. So it'll be great to see this thing finish off with a more favorable platform of waves coming in and guys not having to hunt them down, more of just a surf off. And that's what we want to see. We want to see these guys just going head to head, wave after wave, and that's what it looks like is on offer through this afternoon and tomorrow.
Well, we know we're going to stick around until 1 p.m. though, Ross. We don't want to leave anything to chance. It could come early, or it could arrive on time, I should say, and who knows, we might have quarterfinals out there this afternoon.
Yeah, the forecast is shaky enough to be where, if it looks really fun this afternoon, I think they'll have a hard time saying, nah, we're over it, let's just wait. It's not obviously epic tomorrow. It's, kind of the same. So we have a little bit of swell to finish this bad boy off, but they're going to have to pick the eyes out of it.
All right, well, after the break, we're going to have a look at John Florence. He's here so far, and his chances for the win here at J-Bay.
Soul, you got power, baby. Life is love, love is soul, and soul is power. Soul, power, soul, power, baby.
All right. Good morning once again. Great to have your company for this episode of Dawn Patrol. Ronnie with Ross and Strider, and we're going to take a look at one of the only semi-finalists established for this event, John Florence. He's in third position on the ratings, has a great chance of winning this contest. Obviously has been showing some great form, but just reflecting on John's career, I think at the CT level it is fair to say that John has somewhat underachieved up until this point. He's got some amazing results, but reflecting on his career, Ross, he's achieved so much. What's a highlight moment in John's career for you, CT or non-CT?
Well, I mean, he's said himself the irony in the fact that he's got a couple of wins, and they've become in Brazil, where we all think of every time we go to Tahiti and Fiji and Pipe, he's going to dominate in it. So there's been some kind of sneaky wins in there, but I think so far, if you had to stop John's career in his tracks, you would say his movie is probably like his centerpiece, for his career. Obviously, he's got, a great competitive career, but he wants to get that world championship, and I think he's taking the right steps to get there. He's, he's got B. Durbridge helping him out with little sneaky advice here and there. He's sharpened up his competitive act. He's already got the talent, so, look out from here on out.
What about you, Strutter? Highlight in John's career for you?
It's hard for me. Since he was a little kid, he's had that smile on his face and just stoke from surfing, and just little rat in the lineup from Aokai moving over to Pipeline. And I think for me to see that same smile on his face after he won the Eddie, how stoked he was with that same little core group of friends, for me was kind of a highlight. Just to see the energy that he's kept all the way through, and then just climax at that one moment. I think he's probably dreamt of that, his whole life. And to see that, it's almost as good as a world title for me. Like, there
Definitely.
he is, still living it, still feeling it, still loving it.
Definitely a very cool character, and has had a couple of Triple Crown victories, so has had a lot of success, but I think the hype is warranted. We all expect him to do a lot more, and this year might be the year that he gets that maiden world title.
I just remember getting down to the bay and it was like 25 feet. It looked like J-Bay kind of. It's just this crazy offshore wind coming across it and just rifling from up the point down and then across the bay.
Wow. Lost in the foam. Who's it going to be? That is John Florence, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, that was one of the most amazing days ever,
John Florence is the 2016 Quicksilver Memory of Eddie Aikau champion.
I was super just excited for the year to start and confident after that. My whole goal this year was just going to be to focus more on the contest and less about filmmaking. I've always wanted to win a world title. That's always been my goal.
Welcome to the 2016 Samsung Galaxy World Surf League Championship Tour. We're coming to you live from Snapper Rocks, stop number 1 on the schedule.
Made the quarters in the Gold Coast, and then I went to Bells, and I made a mistake at Bells and lost to Kaya. I was pretty bummed because it was such a close heat. And then Margaret's just seemed like it was the same scenario, but kind of the opposite. At Bells, I took the wave from him, and then he got the next one. And then at Margaret's, I was I let him go on the wave, and he ended up getting the score, and there wasn't one behind it. So it just flipped on me, and I was like, God, of course. Got Kaya again in Brazil. Beat him that time, so I was pretty stoked.
John Florence is going crazy in Brazil, and that was a nugget right there.
Your champion in 2016 for the Oi Rio Pro, John Florence.
The feeling I had in Brazil was just okay, I won that one, okay, let's do the next one, let's do the next one. Fiji was sick. My feet, the Taj. I was pretty nervous because it was Taj's last event, and he kind of didn't have anything to lose at that point. I was I just don't want to lose round 3. And then we had that heat, and the waves just turned on. It was so good.
John, late takeoff, slamming on the brakes to pull in. He gets spat out. Taj Burrow now up. Nice and hollow section. Burrow comes out after the spin. Hammers a huge section. We've had lead changes with every single moment.
Scores dropping now for Taj Burrow's last ride.
It's a 9.4, and it's not enough for a lead change.
We've got really amazing quarterfinal heats established. If Wilco can stick to his game plan of keeping John off the best 2 waves, then he's maybe a chance of getting through to the semis. So fun reflecting on that heat. Definitely heat of the year, Taj Burrow up against John Florence. And sometimes those early round clashes aren't as memorable as the finals, but that one still stands out in a big way. Taj's last heat, Ross, it was amazing.
Incredible. So just the competition that went down, the scores, Taj Burrow being celebrated for his last heat ever with an epic battle against John. But the waves, we were all just drooling at the camera right there. No wind, that perfect size on the ledge, pretty epic.
Strider, what's different about John this year, do you think?
Oh, he's got a game plan. He's got to focus. He's not just free surfing. He wants to win, and he's going for that goal, and it's obvious. And I like to see the drive and the motivation and the focus.
He always has some of the best surfing we see on the championship tour, and we're going to get more of it after the break. More John Florence to come.
soul, you got power, baby. Life is love, love is soul, and soul is power. Soul, power, soul, power, baby.
We are loving the opportunity to break down the year of John Florence, the 23-year-old, in third position on the ratings, and with a victory here can move up into second position. John has been on a tear. He's been giving us great performances. Let's see some more incredible vision.
Matt Wilkinson finds a gem, setting it up and pulling into the barrel. This thing's going to spit. Wilco comes out.
Had the Wilco heat in the quarters, and that's just another thing of one of those heats for learning, you know. It was just like, I could have played the heat definitely a whole different way and hopefully would have made it. So when I got home, I just kind of sat down and watched the heat over and just like, okay, like these are the mistakes I made and this is what I could have done, and was happy with the quarters. But I mean, obviously I want to win those events. It's definitely a lot of ups and downs for sure, and it makes your mind just like spin so much because you're like, yeah, I'm the best, and then the next one you're like, damn it, I keep losing, I lost again. I've had so many losses in my career that it's like, you kind of learn how to almost use it to your advantage in a way, rather than take it and, you know, really hold that loss real hard until the next event. I analyze myself a lot, but I definitely analyze other guys as well, you know, Mick and Adriano and those guys. I see the heats that they surf real well and see kind of what they do. Like, oh, I did that, but Adriano or Mick would have done that, you know? But then, you know, like I have my own things that I want to change for myself, so that if I do get those guys in the heat, I'm not playing the same game against them. I'm playing a game to take them off their game. This year I'm just kind of taking everything I've learned in the past and saying, okay, let's do this way. You know, it's just trying in a different way, really, and seeing how it works out.
Florence shams it off the coping. Just continues to hack away off the top. Clear for takeoff. Tail high reverse. Oh my.
I'm still real young, and it seems like I've been doing the tour for a while now. Kind of, the years are kind of flown by actually, but still learning so much, and had a lot of like real fun runs, and then I'll just like stop. And I think it kind of all just built up, and I was just like, you know what, I want to be consistent in every event. Super excited for the semis. However it's going to be, I've just been getting myself excited for everything, whether it's 1 foot or 8 foot or 10 foot or onshore 4 foot. I'm psyched to go surfing in a heat with one other guy out and just get some waves.
Absolutely no ego about the man that everyone on the championship tour considers to be the best surfer in the world, but that's not enough for John Ross. He wants to get that world title.
Yeah, and it's incredible because you look at John, he's 23 years old. He's so young, but his maturity level is way beyond his years. And not only that, but he's very thoughtful. He's not your typical 20-something-year-old where they're kind of just stuck playing video games and hanging out and having fun with their buddies. He's well-read. He likes to go sailing on his sailboat. So he's just a little bit of a throwback. You know, it's got some old school in him. And I think now that he's kind of fixated on winning and figuring out how to compete as good as he can, it's a good sign for him.
Sure is. Rosie Hodge is down there at the water's edge. She's been watching those free surfing sessions each morning very closely, and John's been one of the first surfers out, Rosie.
Yeah, he's a bit of a Mowgli at the moment, just become one with this point break archer. The dolphins come past and he's one of the first to experience that, so it's so beautiful. I mean, it's daunting waking up early here at Jeffreys Bay. It is freezing cold. You got to walk on these gnarly rocks, and John is just taking it in his stride. And that's one of the things, he just immerses himself in the break. he spent hours out here when no one's out here. He's the first figure jumping over these rocks in the morning, so he's definitely got that eye on the prize.
Rosie, I spoke about highlights from John's career, free surfing, and in competition with the boys earlier today. What about you? You got a moment that sticks out?
I think it's just the way that John wins. I mean, everyone is so stoked for him. Even in Fiji, when you ask who's your favorite surfer, John is the first name that comes to people's minds. So definitely for me is when John came to Cape Town when he was really young, and just seeing him surf out there and like I said, immersing himself in the breaks that he goes to.
He definitely laps up everything each destination offers, culture-wise, and also with the different conditions. He's tackled dungeons down near Cape Town at Hart Bay there. He is an all-rounder in every sense of the word. He's kind of the best performer at everything he does.
He's really energetic strider, and he, I think for him, he appreciates coming there early, putting that practice in, and you put on top of all those accolades, he is kind of the best guy right now in big waves and small waves. That's huge.
Yeah, not to mention, I just want to see his book after he puts out all those photos he takes, because everywhere he goes, he's got cameras and he's got a dark room, and he probably has some of the coolest photos you've ever seen. He's just archiving day after day of image after image, so that's coming soon.
Well, he's already into the semi-finals here at Jeffreys Bay, but we still have 3 quarterfinal heats to come. After the break, we're going to have a look at who's the best chance at moving through to the Final Four.
Soul, you got power, baby. Life is love, love is soul, and soul is power. Soul, power, soul, power, baby.
Welcome back. Well, 5 days ago we ran just one quarterfinal heat in very tricky conditions, and it was a close one between John Florence and Geordie Smith. John getting the jump with just a heat score total of 10.7. The event went on hold. We've been waiting to get the quarters back underway. That might happen this afternoon. And the second quarterfinal heat is a big one. Kelly Slater, he's trying to get that elusive CT victory, the 55th of his career, and he's up against Josh Kerr. Who's going to win that battle, Ross?
Well, I think the wind's going to play favorites for each one of these heats that are coming up. So I think that stiff offshore wind's good for Kelly. That means he can try to maybe out power surf Josh. And I think it's the same going down the line. You look at Julian up against Gabriel. Gabriel's got that really swift backhand snap, but I think Julian's going to have the edge with the wind again. And then you think Felipe has been on fire this event, but Mick Fanning also is going to enjoy that offshore wind strider.
Yeah, I agree with you all the way down the line. It's going to be hard, though. Medina is going to be scrappy for sure. I feel like we're going to come down to the semis. We're going to see, Slater and John kind of battling it out there, which is going to be my favorite heat of the round. For me, that's what I'm going to see. And I don't know. I think Darth Vader is going to cut Luke's hand off in that one, and Luke's going to come back
To be clear,
defend
Kelly's
his
Darth
title.
Vader?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Can
definitely.
still surf with one
Kelly
hand.
is definitely Darth Vader.
Okay.
Hey, so just looking at the top side of the draw, who's the favourite in the top side to make the final, do you think?
I think John. He just seems the most confident. He's got that great break too. He had a really sketchy heat with Jordy, so he's feeling like, wow, okay, I got away with one. So I feel like he's going to get all the way through into the final. And then I think Mick Fanning, has been, I don't want to say he's been overlooked, but he just seems like he has been surfing the best out of the entire field with and with that offshore wind that we're supposed to get kind of stiffen up a little bit. He's going to be ripping.
Mick has basically established the lead within the first 10 minutes of every heat he surfed, sometimes even the first 5, and not look back, and just seems so comfortable out there at the moment. But it's going to be interesting on the bottom side of the draw. There is an opportunity that we'll see a replay of last year's final, which obviously wasn't completed. How fun would that be, Strider?
Yeah. I can't wait. I mean, obviously they've got unfinished business, and we could get to see those two battle it out. And I think Julian, he's really powerful. He's got a best form out here, and for those two to go head to head again would be great to watch.
You think he's going to get Mick?
I think he could.
If they matched up.
I think he's got a little better flow out here right now. I think Julian's got more flow than Mick does.
Definitely one of the best quarterfinal lineups we've ever seen, and it's going to be fantastic to watch. Hoping that at 1 p.m. we'll get the call and try and get these quarterfinal heats underway. We'll see you then. Until then, check out worldsurfleague.com. Some great features there. We'll see you at 1 p.m.